Imagine this scenario. Middle of the pandemic, you're sitting at home, bored, you're a high schooler, and all you do all day is basically just scour for YouTube, get really invested into RuPaul's Drag Race, become a Swiftie, so on and so forth. And then, one day, you stumble upon a video that is a compilation of the most iconic moments from Eurovision 2021. Now, because you're European, obviously, you know what Eurovision is. But actually, no, you don't. You don't know what Eurovision really is. You know of Eurovision, but you don't know about Eurovision. So you watch it and you're like, this is fun, honestly. Do I have anything else to do right now? Not really. So you sit down one evening and watch the entire final of Eurovision 2021 and basically leave that experience a changed person. That is a very short summary of my backstory with Eurovision and how I became obsessed with it and how I became invested in it. And my first year was Eurovision 2021. And today I have the honor and the privilege, as I like to say, of revisiting that year. Hello, my name is Freyr. I am your favorite local forest gremlin, a Polish sociology student, and a pop culture enthusiast. And today we are gonna be revisiting Eurovision 2021. If you've been here before, and if you, for example, watched my video about Eurovision entries from Poland, you might recognize this very iconic board. Her name is Bethany. She's my assistant in many videos. She's gonna be assisting me in this one. She's gonna be assisting me in my upcoming Percy Jackson video as well. So it's all fun, it's all games, and most importantly, she is an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Go and appreciate Bethany in the comments. But yeah, as we go along, I'm gonna be presenting you my ranking of this specific Eurovision edition. And I sure as hell know that I am gonna get skewered in that comment section for some of the opinions I'm about to have about some of these songs, because some of the ones that I don't necessarily gravitate towards, unfortunately, ended up being fan favorites from this year. So that would be fun. But quickly, before we get into all of that yapping, please remember to subscribe to my channel. You can like the video, you can comment down below, you can share it with your friends, I don't know. And most importantly, you can also follow me on all of my other socials, which are listed in the description box below. We're gonna work our way from very last place to the very top of the scoreboard, which was of course Italy with Ziti and Buoni. We're gonna talk about all of those songs and I'm gonna be placing them in my ranking. Also, a quick disclaimer, I was really hesitant on including non-qualifiers in this video because there are some Eurovision editions that actually have like very decent non-qualifiers. Like I honestly think of like 2024 as one of those editions where like most of the non-qualifiers I actually really enjoyed. This year, let's just say that the non-qualifier section is going to be short because I don't really have much to say about most of them. I just find them really boring and forgettable. Also, another disclaimer, Russia, Azerbaijan and Israel are not going to be placed in the ranking, even though I will be discussing their entries. If you are like confused as to why I chose to do that, well, basically, I don't think Eurovision and politics are separate, and I don't feel comfortable placing these countries in any of my rankings. You might prefer doing things different and ranking them. That's all up to you, but this is my video, and this is how I choose to present it. So that's kind of it. You can go yell at me in the comments, I don't care. Now, with all of those disclaimers and all of that shameless self-promotion, we are going to go into our first song of the video, that being 39th place. And unfortunately, that last place of all last places this year, went to Latvia. And what if I say I actually like this song? I'm sorry, I do. It's kind of cool in my opinion. But that unfortunately didn't stop it from placing 39th out of 39 possible places. Samantha Tina with Blood Moon is Rising is the Latvian entry. And do I agree with this placing? No, I don't. I think that this was a disaster live, but I much rather would watch a disaster than something that's just boring. And as I stated before, there are going to be a couple like entries in this specific non-qualifier section where I just don't really have much to say because it's just boring. This isn't boring. You can call it many things, but boring it is not. I like the energy of it. I think that the instrumental is weird, but I really enjoy it. And I think Samantha does have a good voice. Unfortunately, that good voice did not show live, but we're gonna get there. This song might not be polished, but it's at least somehow interesting, and that is always going to score points with me personally. But this performance, I just don't understand a single creative choice that was made here. This green dress does not match the wildness of the song at all. I'm looking at it right now. It's like I'm struggling to come up with a reason to wear that, honestly. I hate that the backing singers are not moving an inch during this performance. I also don't understand why they just stand on the side doing these cunty poses when they could be moving. They could be a part of like a ritual or something. I don't understand why the visual for this look the way that they look. Like, the song is called Blood Moon is Rising.
I don't know. I don't know.
And you're over here doing these like gold, I don't even know what to call them, like weird things that are just on the LEDs. Like, why is it golden? Blood Moon is Rising. It's right there in the name. You do something dark, you do something red, something maybe you do something maybe black, or just give some drama, give maybe like slightly demonic, you know, go like all the way there. Blood Moon is Rising. It's such a simple like prompt, in my opinion, for staging, and somehow they managed to find a way to do the exact opposite of what I would do if I was tasked with styling this performance. Some of the vocals are just really, really off. They needed way more backing. The moves she does are also just... She kind of looks like she's in like a rap music video or something. I also find it really funny that she also gets sabotaged by a cameraman. Like, okay, Meira Omar, I see you. Her trying to get the crowd going is just... Actually, it's everything to me. I think it's high camp. Everything about this performance is just bad. I don't understand a single creative choice that was made here. However, do I think that this deserved last place? No, I do not. No, I do not. I think that this is not a good performance. This is not good live. I get why people didn't want to vote for this, but it's at least entertaining. Like, you're not gonna fall asleep watching this. Oh no, you will be staying awake. Unlike the next guy, we're gonna get there. This is a hot mess, but I much rather prefer watching that than some boring ass ballad. So honestly, I don't care. You can hate me all you want in the comments. You can be like, oh, this was horrible. I do not give a shit. This is my 24th place in the ranking. I just realized that it might be a problem for you to see the this part of the ranking. Let's just say that you won't be missing much, honestly. Also, I think that this is a good point of the video to mention that making this ranking was very, very hard because the top end of 2021 is insane. Like, the bangers are bangering, you know? The hits are hitting, but from, I want to say, like 25 downwards, it's hell. And how do you rank so many boring, bland, or just plainly bad songs amongst each other? It's really tough. I wanna hear you. Tonika Kipiani with his song You placed 38th overall for Georgia. And I will be the brave one. This should have finished last. Samantha Tina at least tried to do something, you know, she was trying to get the crowd into it. I forgot about this performance basically as soon as I saw it, with the exception of that really, really loud, obnoxious scream that he does in the chorus that honestly doesn't really sound like singing. It just sounds like he stepped on something, like a Lego piece or something. I don't know. Everything about this is off. The song is boring. The vocal, not suited for the song at all. I just don't understand the staging decisions for this. That he has like some like words that are like reflected on him, like projected on him. I cannot speak for the life of me. English is not my friend today. But back to the song, I just don't understand the logic behind sending something like this to the contest. Like, you all had over a year to prepare, and you come up with A song that has some of the worst lyrics to a Eurovision entry I've ever seen.
Trauma, PTSD, trauma, generational trauma.
I think the true commitment of Georgia to never sending a grammatically correct Eurovision entry in English is kind of endearing, but at the same time, it gets to a point. I feel like this song, what it really needed to maybe be considered a decent entry would be a bit more of a build, because it's really, really stale. And then he just starts screaming out of nowhere, and it genuinely feels like he is hurt or something. This song is 33rd in my ranking. Also, another disclaimer, my handwriting is really, really ugly. However, I did not want to edit the text overlay over the video because that's really annoying. And the last time I did that, I spent like an hour trying to make it work. So I am not doing that again. It's just easier for me to edit. If it comes out shit, it comes out shit. I'm sorry. I'm going to tweet the full ranking on Twitter. You can see it there. So if any of whatever I'm going to write on here is not going to look too clear for you, you will find the full ranking on my Twitter. Okay, so up next we have Ireland. This placed 37th, and the song is Maps by Leslie Roy, and to me it makes sense. Whereas I don't think that this song is like that bad. It's inoffensive at best. I just don't think that this worked live. Like, this was really tough to listen to back live. This song feels like something that would be entered into Dansk Melody Grand Prix. And I don't know how to explain that really. It just has that vibe to it. It's bland, it's uninteresting, but it's at least, somewhat put together. She sounds off the entire time, and it's kind of crazy, honestly. She's tired, she's breathy, she cannot sing this song for her goddamn life. This staging is honestly kind of fun. I don't hate it, even though at times it does kind of look like a arts project for like 3rd grade in primary school or something like that. I do, however, think that it could have been executed slightly better. Like, you have all of that gray and blue and white of her surroundings, and her outfit is just like a plain, like, I don't even remember what it was, but I think it was like a black dress. It just doesn't really stand out. And I feel like for a song about like, I guess kind of like self-discovery or something like that, I feel like her maybe contrasting the world would have worked better for maybe the results of it all. I feel like it would have made slightly more sense with the story, because she just kind of fades into the background in the world that the staging creates for her. She doesn't stand out in it, she drowns in it. And that is not what you want. So this is my 30th place. Okay, Ireland done. Let's move on to our 36th place. Czechia. Jesus Christ, I hate this song. I hate this with a burning passion. You gotta understand, I love Czechia. It's a fun country. I really love it there. Whenever I go there, it's a good time. I also really like their Eurovision entries, typically. This just feels like it was created specifically to annoy me, and I don't appreciate that. I really, really fucking don't. Oh My God by Benny Cristo placed 36th in this contest, deservedly so. This could have been last, and I would have been like, sure. First time I saw this title, I kind of thought that it was a reference to Omegaverse. And I think I was the only one in thinking that, but turns out this is just a way of butchering the phrase of, oh my God. And it actually has nothing to do with Omegaverse. And I was quite disappointed to learn that, honestly. The styling and the staging, I guess, makes sense. They're fine, but I just hate this so much. He doesn't sound that good. The song is annoying. This sounds like one of those songs that people take to TikTok with and are like, oh my God, I just made a new song of the summer, and it sounds like shit, and the only thing that it creates is secondhand embarrassment for the people watching that. This instrumental makes me want to actively slice my ears off. It's that bad. I hate this with a burning passion. This is my 36th place, meaning that this is my last place, excluding Azerbaijan, Russia, and Israel. Good job, Czechia, honestly. Okay, Dollar, I see you. North Macedonia finished 35th in the contest with Vasil and Iceland. This is a ballad, it's fine. He has a good voice. I don't remember shit about this. I am not that big of a ballad person, honestly, unless they are like really interesting conceptually or when it comes to the performance. And this is just not it. I don't remember this. I literally, if you told me to sing this song now and like at least like, I don't know, the melody line or whatever, I would not be able to do that because I don't remember how this sounds. I've watched this performance at least 4 times in preparation for this video and I still don't remember how this sounds. Also, Poland is the country that famously gets clowned on for CapCut effects. But honestly, let's take a look at North Macedonia because these fire hearts, whatever, are kind of ridiculous, honestly. They look cheap. They don't look effective in my opinion. When you have France, Bulgaria, Switzerland bringing some of the best ballads we've ever seen in the history of the contest, and this is what you're bringing, I'm sorry, you're gonna fade into the background. He can sing it fine, I guess, but I don't remember what he was singing. So that's the main issue. This is my 31st place. I don't remember this existing. Okay, Australia finished 44th with Montan and Technicolor, and I gotta say that I am an apologist for Technicolor. I love Montan, and I actually think both of their entries are really, really good. I obviously prefer the 2021. Like, that is not necessarily a question, right? But this is still fun. It kind of sounds like a Marina reject almost, but that is a good thing because I actually like that kind of sound in music and I think it's kind of dope. And I think that they pull it off pretty well. I think that the verses I really love. I really love the pre-chorus as well. The chorus, in my opinion, lands flat. I think it needed more in the instrumental department. I think maybe it could have been structured a little bit better to work more as a song, you know. It just kind of feels very repetitive. The chorus is the only part that just doesn't hit for me in the song, but the rest is really, really fun. I love the choreography, and obviously Montan had a difficult Eurovision experience because they couldn't fly out to Rotterdam, so they did the best they could. I like the kind of Powerpuff Girls energy this has. I also think that some of the Technicolor effects that they have overlaying this performance are really fun. I really like this entry. And I am not ashamed to admit that. You can judge me all you want, but this is a bop, and this is my 22nd place. Okay, with Australia on the board, we are moving on to Poland. So my country is up next. I've already talked about this entry in a different video of mine where I ranked every single Polish Eurovision entry. I've already mentioned that video in this video too, but that doesn't matter. Go and watch that video after you watch this. It's a really fun video. I really enjoyed working on this. And there I gave a little bit more of an in-depth analysis of this entry. So here I'm gonna just keep it short. Yes, this is bad. Everything about this is bad. The vocal, horrible. The instrumental, horrible. The staging, awful. I don't understand why they did this. I don't understand any creative choices that were made here. I think that the charisma is non-existent. The choreography for this is god-awful. Everything about this is so horrible that it like turns around and makes its way into like high camp territory. Like, this is fun. I rewatched this to get a laugh. I don't think this is a serious Eurovision entry. It never was. I think it finished appropriately because the only thing that it brings is enjoyment. And isn't that the like purpose of Eurovision, to bring enjoyment into people's lives? So I guess Rafał Brzozowski did his job. Everything about it is just so bad that it's charming again. And yeah, I hate everything about this, but I also can't help but to like laugh at it. I think it's funny. It's almost like a comedic act. So Poland, my country, is my 35th place. Okay, with Poland on the board, we go to Slovenia for our 32nd place. This is Anna Soklic with Amen, and I don't remember this that much. I think that this is a boring ballad. It's fine. The staging is okay. She sounds good. This is just like North Macedonia, but just maybe slightly less forgettable. Like, I think I kind of remember some of the vocal riffs she was doing. It kind of sounded like a slowed down version of the Cynthia Erivo riff in Defying Gravity. I am just saying shit at this point. I have to force myself into remembering this ever existed. Every single time this like comes up in conversations or in videos or whatever, I don't remember this. And I don't think that there is much to remember, to be honest. So this is my 27th place because at least they did something right. You know, they made a song that sounds nice. I don't remember it, but at least it's not like offensive. Okay, with Slovenia on the board, we go to 31st place, and that is Estonia. I've never actually learned how to pronounce this name. I think it's Ukusviste. I'm kind of unsure, but the song is called The Lucky One, and I hate the whisper part in the beginning. That is the first thought I have about this. That part sounds demonic. The song itself is fine. It's kind of forgettable. The only like thing that really stood out to me was that whilst I was rewatching this performance for the first time while preparing for this video, I kept on thinking about John Lundvik's entry from 2019. Like, why do they kind of sound similar to me? Like, am I the only one seeing that? The staging for this is fine. I am just not really that into the overall package. It's not up my alley, but at least it's not like offensive to my ears or anything. It's very mid. That's all I can say. This is my 28th place. With Estonia on the board with a really, really ugly letter E, we go to 30th place, and that is Austria. This is another song named Amen by Vincent Bueno, and I'm cannot help but to think, like, what are the logistics in that? Like, can you actually send two different songs from two different countries that are just named the same? Like, wouldn't that be a problem? I mean, I guess it wasn't because they allowed it. Another great voice wasted on an incredibly boring song. I don't like this whatsoever. I think that this is a boring ballad. It's stale. It's uninteresting. It doesn't stand out in the slightest. I think it's boring. This feels like a fucking church worship song, and I don't really like that. Like, that kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'm sorry to all the Christians watching, I guess. However, out of the like boring ballad non-qualifiers, I think that this is the one that is like the most like well put together. So I will give it 26th place. But that is like me being generous. Like I said, from 25 downwards, it's hell. Fear of Flamme. I've never learned how to properly pronounce this name. I am so sorry to all the Danish people watching, if there are any. If you're Danish, please yell at me in the comments. I think I kind of deserve this. But back to this entry. This band, just insert the name, represented Denmark and placed 29th, and I actually have to say that I kind of enjoy this a lot. This is so much fun. It's so bright, it's colorful, it's dated but in a good way. It's kind of crappy, but I enjoy it. It's just fun. I also love that this is in Danish. I've not heard many songs in Danish in my time as a Eurovision fan because they just don't really happen that often, you know? And this is one of them, and I think that it's really, really fun that they sent something like this to the contest. I think it's so cute. How can you hate on something that is this joyful and this like family friendly, this just like approachable? There's no way you can actually turn around and say that you hate this. This was such a cool addition to the contest, and I honestly kind of wish that it had qualified because I feel like it would have been a very deserved qualification. This is my 21st place. Okay, so we have Denmark on the board, and now we are moving on to Romania. So this is Roxanne with Amnesia, and I want to preface what I'm about to say with the fact that the song in the studio version is fine. Every single problem I have is basically related to the live show. I was never too big of a fan of this to begin with, but that performance was just kind of odd at times. I feel like some of the choreo choices were off, and Roxanne, she sounded like she just got off of like a treadmill before this performance, and I don't think that served her very well. And from what I've heard and what I've seen from like rehearsal footage or stuff like that, she never really had a good performance of this song in Rotterdam, which is kind of unfortunate. I feel like if you have a performer who is not a strong dancer, but you want them to sing, you need to limit the choreo as much as you can. You need to make it minimalistic, or you need to make it so easy that it doesn't affect their breathing or their vocals. And instead, she gets this choreo, she gets like picked up, thrown around. People are doing things around her. They're looking crazed and everything. And she just sounds like she's tired. Maybe Roxanne should have focused on, you know, working on her vocal performances instead of having crash outs on Twitter and trying to get an Elon Musk notice. Just saying. This is my 23rd place. You might have noticed that so far no songs have been ranked outside of these two columns, which this one you can probably barely even see. Honestly, good for you. I'm jealous. But now that is about to change. Our borderline NQ with one of the craziest results I've ever seen in my life is Croatia, that being Albania with her song TikTok. This famously would have qualified with the televote and the juries, but for some reason, when combined, it finished 11th and didn't qualify, despite finishing top 10 with both televote and juries. I am still at awe of like how it was even possible for that to happen, but like honestly, what an iconic result. Now, obviously, before Albina was making Christian music, she used to make really, really fun girl bobs. And I actually kind of enjoy TikTok. I think it's not necessarily like reinventing the wheel, but it's using the wheel right. I think that this is sleek. I love the aesthetic of this performance. The like silver with the red, the purples, the whites, the blues. I think it's all really fun. I really like the choreo for this. I think she sounds really good. She does not have that problem with like the breath control, at least in my opinion. I didn't really notice that. I also think that the Croatian part in this is really fun. And considering what qualified over this, which was Norway, and we're gonna get there, I actually kind of wish that this had made the final, because I think that this song is like infinitely better than Fallen Angel. So this is my 19th place. I enjoy this entry. Is it like the best thing I've ever heard? No. It's simple, but it does its job and it's really, really well put together. And I think Croatia kind of deserved a qualification spot for that. But now we have reached our grand final, and we're going to talk about a stretch of songs that are either really bad or really boring, or both at the same time.
0 points.
The UK did its big one with Ambrose. Like, I feel like it's a commonly accepted truth that getting a double zero in a split televote jury system is practically impossible, and yet they still managed to do it. Like, hats off for that, because that is iconic, and that is going into Eurovision history books. This song, I don't think is horrendous, because if I had like heard it in passing, I probably wouldn't have like stopped and thought to myself, oh my God, this is shit. This is horrible. I'm gonna vomit. Like, no, but the moment that the song takes center stage, it becomes very apparent that it's never meant for that setting. This is not meant to be the show. This is meant to be a backing track in like a traveling agency ad or something like that. You know, come and visit the Maldives and you have like embers playing in the background. That's what this song was designed to do. This song was not designed to represent a country at Eurovision, however. Those vocals were awful. Those trumpets, I don't understand why those trumpets were there. I don't understand the logic behind having such a huge prop on the stage that is just hanging there and that you can't do anything with. It's just hanging there. For what reason? If it doesn't have a practical reason, if the artist isn't able to do something with it, why even bother? Why spend so much money on these fuck-ass trumpets and then, I don't know, gets double zero because of them? I wish that James Newman got onto like one of those trumpets and did what Erika Wickman did with her microphone. I feel like that would be fun. I am not surprised that British Eurofans hate this. I feel like they have a very similar like relationship with this song as I have with, for example, Light Me Up by Gromi and Lucas Meyer. Like it's just really, really bad, to the point that it's actually embarrassing that it's your country that produced it. I have that a lot as a Polish Eurofan. Let me tell you, that score is hard to believe still. But I think that, unfortunately, it was kind of deserved. And the UK lands itself in my 34th place.
I'm sorry.
A strong argument could be made that Embers isn't actually the worst entry of this edition because it was directly followed in the leaderboard by Germany. Germany, what the hell was this? I want to preface what I'm gonna say with the fact that I really, really like Jędrek. I think he seems like such a fun person, and his episode of the Look Lab with Nikki Tutorials is probably my favorite interview of like some time now. Like, I love that video so much. It's so fun. He has so much charisma. I really, really like him. But just because he's funny as a person doesn't mean that that humor translates well into music, because it doesn't. This song was always going to be a mistake though, no matter who would end up performing it. This song was like purposely made to annoy me. It has those like ukulele focus intro. It has fucking trumpets as instrumental breaks after the chorus. This just sounds so generic. I hate the like weird singy-songy style of singing that he does. It's the I don't feel hating. It sounds like a fucking Cocomelon song to me. And I cannot explain it further. It just sounds like that to me. That stupid middle finger. You can take it and you can shove it up your... For a song with a title like I Don't Feel Hate, it's really funny how much hate it actually makes me feel. Maybe Jędrek is just better than me, I don't know. I don't think I am alone in the sentiment of hating this though. This is my 32nd place. You know, at least it's trying to be different, you know? It's trying to do something, even if that something is horrible on all fronts. And just like that, the last column of this ranking has been filled by North Macedonia, Germany, Georgia, the UK, Poland, and Czechia.
Another 0 point.
You know what? I am actually going to sleep because this is so boring. I hate entries that are boring. You can give me a ballad that is interesting. I know you can. Spain, I know you can do it. This is not it. This year is not a good year for ballads though, because there are 3 that are good and the rest of them is just plain horrible. And I feel like that's so weird, honestly. Like, I don't know. I feel like typically Eurovision ballads can be interesting. Like, we just came from 2025 where we had like 14 ballads, I feel like. Every single country was sending a ballad and most of them were pretty good. There were a few that I was like, nah, but most of them managed to have a interesting spin and managed to stand out as a result. These ballads are just bland as hell. For fuck's sake, I don't even remember what the song is called. I forget about it basically as soon as I hear it. Spain, you can be good at Eurovision if you just try. This is called phoning it in. This is not trying. That 0 from the televote, deserved. If it wasn't for the fact that this was an automatic qualifier, this would have stayed in the semi. How do you explain that, Spain? You have one of the biggest musical industries in the entire continent of Europe, and you produce such boring slop. I will give you some points for singing in Spanish. I think that is good. And I personally feel like, you know, I enjoy listening to Spanish music. I enjoy listening to languages as a whole. And I like when ballads are in native languages. I feel like I typically prefer them more. But that doesn't really change the fact that I just really, really don't like this at all. And I will freely admit that I think that this is my 29th place. I don't like this song at all. He sings it well. It's well put together, but I just don't remember anything else about it. This belongs with the other boring ballads of the section. Okay, with Spain out of the way, thank God, we can move on to the Netherlands. So this is Birth of a New Age by, I will butcher this name. I've never learned how to pronounce these names. I am so sorry. It's Django Macroy. I feel like I did a bad job, honestly. I am so sorry if you're watching this. This is culture. I like it. If you do something cultural and something interesting, I will always buy it. That's the shortcut to my heart if you want to win it in Eurovision. Do something cultural and something interesting. This is both. And I do not care that this finished in the bottom 6 and got 0 from the televote. This is fun. This is bright, this is fun, this is light, this is approachable, this is friendly. This feels like a celebration. I also love that it uses a language that we've never heard in Eurovision before, that being Strana Tonga. I love the styling, I love the colors, I love the dancing. If you hate this, I am judging you. This is something that I do judge people on though, like for real. If I see somebody hating on this entry, I just know immediately that I'm like, I am not interested in like talking more with this person. Like, no, I am not going to be featuring the haters of this song. If you personally, yes, you, I am talking to you. If you were a hater of this during the season of 2021, I am judging you. And I hope you can feel my stare through the screen. I will forever be a defender of this entry, and this is my 15th place. Okay, we have Netherlands out of the way, and now we go to San Marino.
You're my adrenaline.
How in the hell did this banger finish 22nd? This is, and I kid you not, one of my favorite Eurovision songs of all time. It's so fun. It's so light. It's everything I love about Eurovision is in this entry. It's so camp, so fun, so filled with energy. It's so cunty. I even love the fucking random Florida cameo. Like, I don't know how Senate got Florida of all people to participate in Eurovision, but I salute to her for doing that. The vocal was great. Everything about this was perfect. I love how Senate calls on the crowd to like get into it in this like very high pitch. That is iconic. I love the outfit reveal. The choreo is fun. I even love the spinning thing that they are dancing on for part of the performance. This is just a hype party song. What's not to love about this? This is the best entry that San Marino has ever sent to the contest, and I stand by that. I know some people are going to be like, oh, Total Italia or Serhat with Say Na Na Na. No, this is actual quality. This is actual music. And the fact that this finished 22nd, if this was Spain sending this, it would be top 10. That's just the common truth. I feel like this was robbed, and this should have been at least top 15, at least left side of the scoreboard. I feel like this should have been appreciated more. And the fact that it wasn't makes me kind of sad. Honestly, this could have won. I don't care. 2022 truly should have been hosted in Valentina Moneta's backyard, not in Turin or whatever. This is my 6th place. So we have officially our first song in the top 10, which I love. And now we can move on to Albania. So they finished 21st with Kanama by Anela Peristeri, and boy am I glad that this qualified. I really, really enjoyed the song. It was never going to be like my favorite, but I have to stand Perfection, because it is. That instrumental breakdown after the chorus is so ridiculously good. This song just goes on and it gets better and better with every section. This is also like another example of Albania doing black and red staging, which I kind of love. I don't know, it's camp, and I kind of love that for them. Like, go off, honestly, represent your flag colors, that's fun. She is also such a diva, has such a good stage presence. Genuinely, she is alone on that stage, but it doesn't feel empty. I don't know about you guys, but I just really enjoy Albanian music, and especially when it's this good and this cunty. I just have nothing to say. It's really, really good shit. And this is my 13th place. Okay, so now we go to Azerbaijan. This is the 20th place, and at the time, I gotta say that I was kind of surprised that this finished this low, but as time went on, I kind of get it now. Matahari, whilst not being a bad song whatsoever, is really shouty. Like, she just is fully like yelling random phrases at me in those verses. The chorus is slightly more controlled because she's just singing less. It feels very shouty. There's not much of like vocal prowess that is actually shown in those verses. I don't really feel like the vocal really shines in this performance. However, I am surprised to see it this low because I feel like this entry had a lot of support from the fandom. For some reason, some people really, really liked it, and I thought that maybe it would translate into a better result, but it didn't. I was never particularly a fan of this, but I appreciate that sounds that it brought to the contest. I feel that was cool. I also feel like the staging for this was really fun, but ultimately I think that the vocal performance on the night just wasn't really perfect, and I feel like that's why it finished so low. I actually kind of thought that maybe the televote would have went for this a little bit more, but it didn't, so I don't know what to tell you. I don't think that this is phenomenal, but it also does feel like they are trying to reheat the Cleopatra nachos, which is... I'm not particularly a fan of that. This is also probably the last like actually decent entry Azerbaijan will ever enter into the contest, let's be honest. It's been looking so badly for the past couple of years. It's like, girl, at this point, why even bother? Now, obviously, this entry is not getting ranked, so we are gonna go into the 19th place in Eurovision 2021. That, of course, being Belgium. Hooverphonic placed 19th, and I have to say that I kind of dig this a lot. I think that the vocal on the night was slightly off, but that isn't necessarily like a deciding factor here, because I feel like the instrumental is actually really cool. And those backing vocals, that is some good shit. I love the mystery in this entry. There's some like intrigue. It kind of feels like something that from like a Sherlock Holmes movie or something. I've never seen a Sherlock Holmes movie, but I feel like that is an accurate description of this. I don't know. I like how minimalistic the staging is as well. I feel like this is really, really fun, and I enjoy this performance a lot. I think that the song is better in the studio version, but the performance wasn't like horrible. And I mean, this year had some real like vocal flops in my opinion. So this doesn't necessarily stand out as like a bad performance. So yeah, I really like this, and this is my 14th place. So we have Belgium on the board, and now we are going to Norway, which placed 18th. So this is Tix with Fallen Angel, and I kind of feel like I might get crucified for what I'm about to say about this, but also like, I don't know. I think that this should have stayed in the semi. Like, I am so serious. I like the staging idea. I feel like that is probably the coolest thing about this entry. The whole demon and everything and all those chains and all that fog, that is fun. However, the song itself is just so mediocre. I'm sorry. It's a mediocre pop ballad. There's not much to it. I just never got the hype around this. I mean, from the beginning, I heard this and I was like, really? Like, this could have been fully swapped for one of the non-qualifiers and it would have been such a more interesting addition. I used to consider myself a Norway stan because a lot of their entries from the past I really, really adore. But like, this decade, they have been kind of all over the place. I mean, they've qualified every year, so that's good for them. But like, they started in 2020 with Ulrike, and a song that was very likely, in my opinion, to win the Eurovision Song Contest. I feel like there would have been a possibility of that happening. I feel like that song was incredible. Then we go into this. I'm just like, okay. And then in 2022, it only gets worse. Then luckily in 2023, they find their footing. Queen of Kings is amazing. Then Gotte followed that up. They are amazing. And Neither was also very decent. So like, it's not that bad, but like these two specific entries, I'm just like, ugh. And back to Tix, I cannot help but to think to myself whenever I'm watching this performance, like all of those things that he's wearing, that looks heavy as fuck. He has those glasses, that like bandana or whatever. Then he also has those wings and the big ass fucking coat. Like, let him breathe or something. Like, if I was there on that stage, I would have been suffocated by all of that. He has a good voice, but I'm just not necessarily into what he's presenting, if that makes sense. So unfortunately for Norway, because I do typically like the Norwegian entries, but this is just, in my opinion, a kind of a flash in the pan. This lands in my 25th place, and that completes our second column of the ranking. Okay, so up next we have Israel. This is 17th place with Eden Alain. Obviously, I am not ranking this entry, but let's just talk about it. I was never necessarily too big of a fan of this because I just felt like this song was slightly generic. It felt like something I've heard before, but also it kind of felt like the entire song didn't necessarily make sense. And then suddenly she's throwing in all of those whistle notes, and I'm like, okay, we're trying to get the jury points. I get it, but like it just felt very, really random. I feel like this is one of those entries that like kind of has similar problems to like something like Unicorn, where it is a kind of like a crowd pleaser, but when you actually like dig into it to like find some merit, it doesn't necessarily have it. It doesn't feel like a coherent piece of music to me. And I also kind of think that, of course, this is 2021. So this is before the entire world woke up and saw what Israel is. But I think having an Israeli entry named Set Me Free is kind of crazy, to be honest. And I wonder if in 2021 there are people who are like looking at this being like, So there is not much that I like about it, honestly. I also feel like the choreo is just so bad at times. Yeah, it's, to say something positive about it, I guess, I think Eden is a really, really good vocalist. She does have a good voice, but this thing just doesn't suit her at all. It kind of feels childish too. Doesn't it sound like a junior Eurovision entry to some of you? Because to me, it kind of does. So yeah, nothing really grabs me here in any way, but honestly, that's kind of for the better. So I'm just gonna move on to our next entry, which is Cyprus. So this is our 16th place with El Diablo, and we've reached the moment in the video where I am sure some of you are gonna be clicking off, because this seems to be a fan favorite. And I never particularly like this song. I think that this is a good song, don't get me wrong. And I think that the performance of it is the highlight. Like I genuinely think that the choreo for this, the staging for this, the live vocal, everything was kind of perfect. But the song itself, I just don't find that good. I am sorry. It's just, it feels kind of generic, and it does kind of feel like another instance of Cyprus trying to reheat those Eleni Foureira nachos, although slightly less, because I feel like 2019 was the real case of trying to reheat the nachos. Like Replay was genuinely just like Fuego 2.0. This has slightly more authenticity to it, but it's still not that far from the girl bop trope that Cyprus succeeded with in 2018 and nearly won the whole contest with. So it genuinely feels like another, oh, let's send our girl bop so the gays and the girls are gonna vote for it and let's win the contest. And it just doesn't win the contest because it's kind of mid. I think 16th was a correct placing for this, and surprisingly enough, coincidentally enough, this is also where Cyprus ends up in my ranking, 16th place. So with Cyprus out of the way, we have reached our top 15, and now we're starting off with Serbia. This is one of the greatest girl bops of all time. I adore Loco Loco so much. It's so much fun. It's just three queens singing the greatest banger of our generation in Serbian, which is really, really great, whilst showing off that they are not just queens of charisma and owning the stage, but also queens of her extensions. And that is really, really cunty. I adore this on every single level. I feel like the staging was good because it focused on the girls themselves, and they are the real magic of this performance. I think that Hurricane sounded great. They truly are really talented, and they brought such a fun entry that still hits years after. I love this back then. I love it now. It's still really, really good. I miss when Serbia used to be Serbia, especially now that the current artistic director of PZE, which is their national final, has been fired. I feel like we are in for a real struggle bus of a couple of years for Serbia, and that makes me kind of sad, but at least we still have gems like Loco Loco to look back on fondly and remember the good old days where Serbia actually used to try in the contest and used to be good at the contest. I am gonna miss those days. Serbia used to be one of the greats. And this entry lands itself in my 7th place. So we have Serbia out of the way, and now we go to Sweden. This is Tusse with Million Voices. And I have to be honest here, never really gravitated towards this. One thing I do love is the styling on him. I think he looks really, really fun. And his voice. His voice is the highlight of everything about this. He has such a nice tone to his voice. I almost wish that like this entry was slightly more ambitious when it comes to like the genre of music. I feel like he would do very well in like a I don't know, slightly more EDM, like electronic music department. I feel like that would be fun. I am not necessarily familiar with his like back catalog. Maybe he's done that. Maybe he's doing it now. I don't know. I would really like to hear it though. I think that the song though is kind of generic, and like the only reason why it stands out in my opinion is Tuse's voice. But then again, it's good, it's polished, but it's just another pop song that Sweden is sending straight out of the like pop factory that they used to have at Melody Festival. I mean, we don't know if used to, because Bara Bara Bastu could have as well been like a flash in the pan, and they go back to fucking Revolution next year. And I think that this is kind of why this plays 14th. Like, it just doesn't necessarily stand out as a piece of music on its own, except for Tuse's voice. That's the only factor that is keeping it out of the background. And honestly, I find it kind of crazy that 14th is the lowest Sweden has placed this decade. Like, some countries would love to place 14th. Like, if this was San Marino, we would all be celebrating. Sweden, for now, I am gonna give them 20th place. I don't think this is bad. I also don't think this is like particularly good either. Okay, with Sweden out of the way, we are on to our 13th place, which was Moldova. Moldova, how I miss you. Sugar is such a bop. This is fun, this is camp, this is everything I love about Eurovision. And this also has that long ass 17 seconds long note. Moldova, just like, I love Moldova in Eurovision because every single year that they participate, it's something so outrageously chaotic, but somehow it always kind of makes sense when it arrives in Eurovision. Like, that was the case with Sugar, for example. Like, I genuinely think that this was such a chaotic entry that only Moldova could have produced and actually got a decent result out of. This is crazy on all fronts. The choreo is whack. The song itself is so... The instrumental between the choruses is so dramatic. Also, the way that this high note is started sounds like she's over there just like... really enjoying someone's company, if you know what I mean. I have to stand. This is iconic. And Natalia Gordienko is an icon. Whether she forged those votes in Moldova's national final or not, I don't care. This is 11th place in my ranking. So we have Moldova out of the way. This is our 13th place, and now we're on to 12, which is Portugal. Songs like these are the reason why I am a Portugal stan. Like, come on. The Black Mamba with Love Is On My Side. This is just magical. This is an instant classic. It has that classy old school feel to it. I love this voice. I also adore this staging. It doesn't feel schmaltzy. It doesn't feel overdone. It feels authentic. And that's what I love about music. When it's submitted to Eurovision, when it's authentic, when you can feel the emotion and everything just makes sense. Ugh. I love this so much. It feels like a romantic night out by the sea. The whole song is just actual perfection. And also, thank God for those juries. Are they sometimes slightly stupid? Yes, but they cooked with this because this deserved a lot of praise and it got it thanks to the juries. This is proof that quality music sometimes does prevail. This is what happened with Jazz Locado this year. This is what happened with Love Is On My Side in 2021. People love authentic music and I love it too. This is actually... And I feel like some of you might be judging me for this, but this is my third place. I love everything about this. Ta-da! Our first top 3 entry. And also I forgot to mention that I really love how they use the side screen to have like a fun projection on there. I really, really love that. But now we are moving on to 11th place, which was Bulgaria. So this is Victoria with Growing Up Is Getting Old. This is 11th place. I have nothing bad to say about this whatsoever. This is great. I really love this song. I really resonate with it as well. The message is, in my opinion, really, really beautiful. I love Victoria's voice too. It's so soft and gorgeous, almost like inviting and warm too. It's so friendly. I love it. I also love the colors they chose for this performance. This like golden light makes so much sense with the song, in my opinion. And I love the staging. I love that she's like on this like rock, or I don't really know what this is, but it feels like it's an island at like sea, in the middle of the sea. You know, she's like alone, we're thinking all of that. It's really, really beautiful, really poetic. Now, controversial opinion, I don't think that this is as good as Tears Getting Sober, but I still think that this is like a really, really good entry. And this is something that I honestly kind of miss at Eurovision. Like Bulgaria's frontrunner era was really, really fun to see, and this entry back-ended it with a really, really nice result, a really, really nice song. And yeah, I feel like it's no surprise that I like both this and also Voyage by Zoe May, which was Switzerland's entry this year. I feel like that is kind of like, oh, well, this is my 5th place. The top 10 is assembling very, very quickly. So top 10 time, and we are opening with Greece. This is Stefania with Last Dance, and this staging is ridiculous and I kind of love it. It's camp, it cracks me up. Like, I cannot take this seriously. It's so funny to me, especially when she's dancing during, I think it's the second chorus, and she has all 4 of the dancers with her, and she's dancing on these like green screen stairs, and it just looks like she's levitating. It's really silly, and I really kind of like silly things like this. The green screen does not work at times, but like I can't help but to think of like the technical element of this. Like, how in the hell did they achieve this? Like, you can just have like green screen as your LED backdrop, but like, how do you edit that onto, while this is a live show? I just don't understand how they did that, but I think it's sick as hell. Back to the song, bop. It's fun. She sounds great. I don't think this stands out much as like a song. I think that staging is the only reason why I kind of remember this. I think the song is fine. I really love her outfit too, but that staging is the only reason why I actually just like remember anything about this entry, because it's so ridiculous. This is my 17th place. So with Greece on the board, we can move on to Russia. So this is Maniza with Russian Woman, and obviously I am not going to be ranking this, but I actually don't hate this entry. I think for a country like Russia, it feels very like weirdly progressive. I think this being their last entry is actually a good thing. Like, it was a really good message to strong, independent women, and we love that. I think the way it incorporates Russian culture and also makes it both fun, beautiful, but also makes it something else than what we know Russia for now. Maniza, in my opinion, is a great artist too. I love her personality. I think she sings this song very well, and she's continuously bringing these very ridiculous facial expressions to this performance, and I honestly kind of dig them. I think they're really fun. I think that the staging for this was top notch. I also really like the gimmick of her in that dress. That is really fun. It's a fun entry, but I think that it also manages to stand on its own, aside from all of the darkness that is now associated with Russia, and that was associated with Russia even long before 2021. I think that this was a good note for them to end their Eurovision journey on, even if that end wasn't, you know, their decision. Well, I mean, technically it was. We're not gonna get into that, but I think that this being their last entry is a really, really like fitting end to that journey, because they finally sent something progressive and suddenly they're out of the contest. Am I glad that they are gone? Obviously, but I think that this is a good entry to send, and honestly, probably the best Russian entry, just in general. So I don't know, hats off to you. That's all I kind of have to say about this. Top 8 now. We are on to Lithuania with The Roop and Discotheque. So this is really fun. I kind of always liked it. It's really, really good. I think it's kind of quirky. It's kind of fun. It has a unique sound and look to it that I just don't think we see often. And I kind of love the styling on them as well. The dancing is super fun. It's super unique. The song itself, I personally think is good. I like this genre of like slightly electronic music Lithuania loves to enter to this contest. Like just look at like Luktelk, for example. I feel like this entry is a symbol of why I think Lithuania is onto like a good trajectory in the contest now and likely a win very, very soon, because they keep on submitting such unique songs every single year. And I just have to stan. Like, they are polished, they're unique, and they are iconic. And that's what you need in order to achieve a Eurovision victory. So Discotheque is, in my opinion, proof of that. And this entry is my 10th place. I wrote it kind of ugly, but it's there. And now we can move on to Malta.
Oh, mother. My mother.
Žemakas was in my top 3 when I first saw the contest. I don't really feel like that needs a lot of explaining though. This is actually such a banger. Destiny is such a powerhouse. Girl, that vocal, she has the charisma of like the millennium, honestly. She sells this song so well. The choreo is so fun. I love the styling on this. Her like big notes, her personality with the, excuse my French, so good. Every single like part of this just makes me smile. I love this song so much. I don't understand why the public blanked on this as much as they did. I feel like this deserves so much more recognition. I mean, I know it's Malta and they always do badly with the televote, but like, come on. It's so good. What else do you need? For this smash hit, this should have had like a fucking, I don't know. This should have had like a Chanel kind of result, honestly. Yeah, that would be fitting. So this is gonna be my 8th place. So with Malta done, we can move on to Finland and their song, which was Dark Side by Blunt Channel. This is another controversial opinion. I never liked this song. I respect it. I think it's a really good step into like the more versatile face of Eurovision that we know now. But I also just never really got into that much. I have a good respect for it, and I think that the score that it got was deserved, but it's just so filled with like anger, but not in a way that I particularly enjoy it. So just I don't know. It doesn't necessarily feel like an entry that I'm supposed to resonate. I don't really like it that much, but I respect what it's done for the contest. I think that the high finish was probably deserved. Maybe they could have been slightly lower, but like, honestly, I'm fine with them being 6th. I think it's kind of deserved. And yeah, I think it's a decent entry. It's never gonna be something that I'm gonna particularly enjoy, but it's fun. I also kind of like the styling of this. I think that the performance was cool, even though I felt slightly like taken aback. Like, it was so angry and I was like, okay, calm down. I also kind of like the story behind like the red fingers and stuff like that. That's fun. Yeah, this is a fine entry. It's nowhere near the alley of music that I am into, but I respect it. And this is my 18th place, which might make some people really upset. Top 5 time, and now we are on to Ukraine. This is the entry that made me interested in the contest. Go Away with Shroom created magic. I've never seen anything like this before. And when I watched like a clip of that performance in that compilation video, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, what the hell is this? I've never seen anything like this in all of my like 15 years of living on this earth, which arguably isn't that much, but like, okay. I was still gagged. My jaw was on the floor. The song is timeless. The way it incorporates those traditional musical elements, but also makes them electronic, is so unique. I love Katarina's voice. I think that the way that this was staged as well is just so good. That island that they have and the gold rings that they use for lighting the dancers, of course. I love her dress. That is an iconic look. Everything about this is great. And the song itself, the way that it kind of slows down after the second chorus, it slows down and then it builds and it builds and it builds into this eruption. Insane. That's like top 5 best moments of Eurovision ever. At the time, this was my winner. It's not anymore, unfortunately. If there are any Ukrainians watching this, I am sorry to disappoint you. This is my second place, but it took a lot to dethrone it. So we are on to 4th place, and that is Iceland with 10 years. And time to get slightly controversial. I think that if this was Think About Things, I would have agreed with this result. But because it's 10 years, I kind of feel like it's slightly overrated and maybe it should have been slightly lower down the scoreboard. I think it's a good song, don't get me wrong, but top 4 level of good? I don't think so, especially when you have Shum literally placing like right below this. Just switch them and I'll be fine. However, back to the song, actually, I still don't hate it. I think it's really, really cute. I love the aesthetic of it. It kind of feels like a little vintage, a little 80s. I like how cutesy it is and like how approachable it is. I also love the like circle keyboards that they like connect in one of the parts of the performance. I don't even know how to describe that. But that is such a sick like gimmick. I love that. I really enjoy it. I think it's really cute. And the message of it is just really, really just adorable in my opinion. Everything about this is just really, really enjoyable. I don't think it was like that good. But then again, I cannot get myself to hate this because it's just so much fun. It's so enjoyable. It's so friendly. You cannot hate this simply. It's just not possible. However, this entry is gonna land here. It's gonna be my 12th place. And now we are gonna be talking about one of the best vocalists to ever participate in Eurovision. That, of course, being John Steers from Switzerland. Honestly, like having entries like Réponds-moi and Tu l'univers being back-to-back entries submitted by Switzerland, like how did people not think that they could win like immediately after this? And I mean, when they did, 2024, of course, with Nemo. But like this entry, if it was entered any other year, it would have mopped the floor with everybody. Like if this was the Swiss entry in 2025, it would be over. This song is insane vocally. Honestly, that big note that John hits at the back end of the song is forever engraved in my mind. It's one of the most iconic vocal performances, in my opinion, in the history of the contest. In my opinion, the fact that this achieved a jury victory shouldn't be surprising to anybody. The staging even, although apparently some people dislike it for some reason, I thought that it was really, really good. I really liked it, honestly. There are only 2 songs that were able to place higher than this, and we're gonna talk about them shortly. But first, let's give this the flowers that this deserves. And that is, of course, the 4th place on my ranking. I just cannot stop thinking about the fact that Tu l'univers could have been just like entered any other year and it would have like dog walked every single other entry. Like what a insane artistic power John Steers possesses. It's insane. Just 2 more entries to go and now we are gonna be visiting France. France, oh France. This is one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. Barbara Pravi with Voila created magic. This song is like crack to me. Honestly, it's so emotional, so classy, so vulnerable. It's like the perfect ballad. It's the best chanson I've ever heard in my life. It's about accepting who you are with all the flaws and all the strength attached. It's perfect. And her voice period, it's insane. I love how she shows so much emotions through her voice whilst also keeping this incredibly perfect vocal performance up. I am just amazed at how talented she is. I also adore the staging. It's so simple but so effective. It makes you focus on Barbara and all of the emotions that she's portraying. It's incredible. She's bearing her soul to us and I am eternally grateful for that. If you consider this to be a bad entry or overrated entry or I just never got the hype, girl, go and listen to this again. This is genuinely one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard in my life. Just stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
This missed out on the victory by 30 points. 30 points, and we could have been dancing through the streets of Paris. If it was up to me, we would be dancing through the streets of Paris in 2022, because this is my winner of 2021. I think that this is like one of the best songs ever created, and it deserves that recognition. This is my first place. France might have won my heart, but unfortunately it did not win the contest, and the winner title instead went to Måneskin from Italy. Zitti e Buoni is a great fucking winner. It's authentic, it's pure energy, it's Italian rock at its best. They perform this song so well too. Every single one of them is a star. It's a great, great performance. This is a banger, and I was never necessarily like too much on the hype train for Zitti e Buoni, but I still think that it's really, really good. I still enjoy it a lot. It's a banger, and I am always able to appreciate that. I love how this song is staged as well. It's really minimalistic, but it actually really relies on the performance and the energy that the actual musicians on the stage are giving, and they are giving a lot. I think it was a smart choice to focus on them because they are the show. It's less about the flashy staging, but more about the charisma that is displayed in front of you. Especially Damiano, but honestly, all of them are just extremely charismatic. I feel like this will go down in history as one of those iconic winners. You know, it's not my favorite winner personally, but it's done so much for Eurovision with how relevant this song has been and how relevant Måneskin were before they split up. And this is a hit, and they became stars because of it. And listen, rock and roll never dies. Am I right? Oh, Damiano David. Okay. So there's only one place where I can put this, and that is my 9th place. I hope that doesn't offend anybody. I still really love this entry. Like my top 10, these entries are just perfect in my opinion. But this just really, really grabbed my heart in a way that Zitti e Buoni didn't. But I still really, really appreciate this entry. And congrats to Italy for winning, you know. Good job, guys. And with that, we've made it to the end of the ranking, but I still want to have some parting words before I go and before you go. And specifically, I want to talk about how this year is perceived by the fandom. It's so weird because it seems that a lot of the fandom is like really, really glorifying this edition when, in my opinion, it's not like it's the best edition of the contest like ever, you know? It definitely isn't, in my opinion. When this edition hits, it hits. Just as I talked about before. This has hits. This has France, this has Ukraine, this has Switzerland, Bulgaria, San Marino, Serbia, Malta, Italy, Lithuania, this has Portugal, Moldova is a hit, you know, Netherlands are a hit in my opinion, Cyprus, Finland, all of those. But then when you go to this side of the scoreboard, things become really, really bad, really, really quickly. When this edition flops, honey, it flops. It's just not that good. And there are editions that can be good even when you look at the lower parts of the scoreboard. I think 2024 is a great example. All of those songs were great, with maybe an exception with like a couple, like Moldova, Germany, maybe. I don't really remember those bad ones, honestly. Iceland, although it was still funny to me. Like, there are very, very few songs that were actually bad in that edition. Meanwhile, this one has all of those and all of those. That's basically 25th place downwards is just hell. And I actually kind of blame that on the big five, to be honest, because Italy and France obviously get away with it. They do great and they end up being the top two of this edition. And let me be clear, that does not include the Netherlands. Where are they? Here, the Netherlands. This does not include the Netherlands. If you think the Netherlands are bad, again, I am judging you. But Spain, UK, and Germany, these are free allocated spots in the finale that are like, they are not changing. They are in the finale and they submit really, really bad songs. Therefore, we already have 3 really bad songs in the finale that are gonna be lower than the ranking, and everybody's gonna be like, how the hell is this worth of a place in the finale? And when something like, say, Norway qualifies and it also doesn't do well, that's already a 4th bad song in the finale. As a result, you end up with a grand final where you have, unfortunately, like a 1/5 of the entries be like just not necessarily that interesting to anybody, or not necessarily like that good either. And that is a problem because technically nobody really looks at the semifinals to determine whether an edition is good. I think like most of the time the judgment is done based on how the grand final looks. And this grand final has some massive flops in it. And honestly, back to other entries, I don't think that this year aged necessarily that well. I feel like most of the entries from this section and partially also this are just not entries that I necessarily come back to. I think my top 10 are entries that I do come back to, or like let's say my top 10. Those entries stayed with me for the most part. But these ones, I just don't really have the will to like go back and listen to them as much as I have with France, with Ukraine, with Portugal, you know, with those entries. However, to be slightly more positive about this edition, I personally feel like it's a really, really good introduction year. Personally, having been through the experience of being introduced into Eurovision through the 2021 edition, I personally think that this is a great year to show to somebody when they are not a Eurovision fan. Preferably without the semifinals, but like, okay. I think that this year has what is needed to like turn somebody into a Euro fan, because when this year hits, it hits. Those songs stay with you for a while. And therefore, you're gonna be remembering them, and you're gonna be way more likely to try and engage with the contest in maybe hopes that you will find some more hits like these. And likely you will, because every year has a couple, but this year had more than a couple, honestly. They are great for attracting attention and making you more invested into the contest. You need the really, really high highs in order to like really keep someone's interest and like actually make them a Euro fan. And I feel like 2021 is perfect for that. But that brings me to the very end of this video. Please let me know down below what you thought of this video. You can always subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please do. I will really, really appreciate it. You can like the video. And remember to tune in as soon as I will be releasing more content, which is likely gonna be soon, because I am kind of on a roll with making videos right now, and I kind of just want to keep going and just keep on making more content. So you will likely see me very, very soon for another, Jesus Christ, this marker, another very, very interesting video, and I'm sure it'll be fun, and I would love to see you there. So I hope you stick around. But until then, thanks so much for sticking to the end. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I will see you very, very, very soon. Bye.